It's 7:02. Can we rise to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business is for me to introduce Matt Angel, who is going to be our new business administrator effective July 1. Hi, Matt.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello,
Matt. Hi.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And we're excited to work with him. I've told him that tonight he doesn't have to be prepared for any Q&A because the Q&A comes in via email on or before September 24th on current and existing and past budgets. And that then the administration will put together any answers and we'll have a meeting on October 12th to go over that. So he's not on the spot. He's just here to be friendly and to get to know us. So thank you, Matt.
October 12th, you said?
I believe so, but we'll be looking at the calendar, the first meeting in October. So then the next order of business is approval of the minutes of February 6th. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
You, a second?
Second.
Okay, that's Larry and Sandy. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hands. Thank you, that's unanimous. And then could we have a motion for the minutes of April 11th? Cheryl had done some amendments. I think you may have seen them online. Did people access them?
Oh, yeah, I guess maybe
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were.
But could we have a motion and then we can to approve them as
As amended?
amended?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? That was Mary and Sandy.
Second.
Sorry, Judy, you keep me on my toes. That's good. Then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mary, you voted?
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's unanimous. Okay. Thank you. Next on the agenda is review and approval of the budget calendar. Cheryl, I know you have to leave early.
Actually, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
As it turns out, my 2 afternoon students canceled. They were sick. So I got home early and did what I needed to do.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But if you want to speed it up, that's okay.
Yeah, that's not good to me.
Well, I don't
All in
anticipate
favor?
this being very long. We have, I'm sorry, it's October 10th. You're right, Cheryl. I have it open now. So September 24th, submission of any new questions to the chair to collate and pass forward to business administrator and superintendent. And then Thursday, October 10th, when Maura will not be here, but meeting to review the budget process with the business administrator at 7 p.m. So we had put together a proposed budget calendar, and the superintendent requested one of 2 changes, basically having one meeting, and they said that they're going to be fine with being able to do it on or before Friday, November 15th, with questions coming in and then giving responses on or before November 20th, or the other one is kind of a week or so later. So it's really up to us. But instead of 2 meetings, they were happy to do 1. So your comments?
They were happy to do one, or that will only do one? Are they saying they will only do one?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Mary.
was my question. My question was, it was originally on the schedule as 1. We had made a request or a suggestion to break it into 2, and they're standing firm and saying we're only going to do 1,
Right,
or we only feel that you need to do 1.
right, right. Yes, Cheryl.
I have no problem with one meeting, but my thought was that we focus on half of the budget and submit questions on those, and then they can start answering them, and then we'll do the other half, so at 2 separate dates, so they would get them at 2 different times instead of getting all the questions on the whole budget all at once. I would think that might be easier for them to have it broken down like that.
Any other comments?
So are they proposing the Friday, the November 15th is going to be the meeting date where they answer questions? Is that what this,
No.
is that what this plan?
By the 15th would be the date that we would submit our questions that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what they've done is to give 2 changes to what we'd originally suggested. One was to give 9 days after the presentation, and the other is to give almost 2 weeks after the presentation.
Oh, okay.
So alternative 1 recommends the 15th, which is the 9 days, and option 2 represents the 20th, which is
Right.
the 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
Any other thoughts, questions, comments?
Well, that's the day that they want to go over the questions, they'll come up with their answers, correct? So there's nothing wrong with us splitting the budget review and handling it that way ourselves, like Cheryl's suggesting we do, but we just don't get the answers until they're ready to do it. And if they want to sit there and take the questions the first round and not act on them, and then, do this mad rush to get their stuff done after we submit the second set of questions, that's their prerogative. That's not ours. We're done, we're ready and waiting. And if they have any issues with it, that just kind of sets them back, not us, I mean, it will affect us a bit, but it's not going to be crazy.
That's fine. So do you want to say that we'll have our first set of questions in on or before the 15th and the second set in on or before the 20th? That I will collate them together after I get them and give them to the administration. They can act on them within their own time frame so that they are giving us their report at the joint meeting on December 5th. Does that work for everybody? And I guess I'd suggest that after the presentation, the superintendent's recommendation, that we decide how we want to divide up the halves.
Yep.
Does that work for everyone?
Sure.
Okay, great. The only caveat with the other approach was that we would get the answers actually a week or 2 earlier, which gives us more time to review them. I kind of prefer that one. I find 9 days is enough time to go through the recommendation. I don't really need 2 weeks and dividing it up into segments, but that's just me. Yeah, Cheryl.
Well, I was going to ask, December 5th is the presentation, but can we get the answers before they actually present them?
No,
No?
no. They're under no obligation whatsoever to give us answers to questions. This is something that they're willing to do. Please know that. This is not something that they're required to do.
They're not required to answer our questions? How are we supposed to find
How's
out about
that?
the budget?
They're required to give us documents that exist and information, but they are not. I mean, look at the RSA. It doesn't say that they're, we can ask anything and everything, but there's no obligation for them to give us.
Can I see that RSA?
Yeah, what RSA number is that?
32.
Municipal Budget Code.
Because as far as, that's never been the case. This is something brand new.
Well,
They
no,
have
that's
always.
the RSA. That RSA has been in existence forever. It's just that
RSA
nobody,
says that we can ask questions. Absolutely, it says we can
But-
ask questions.
what they're talking about is you've been given your answers. Now you're going to be given a budget. And you need to, I'm not going to discuss it because it's a real disaster.
No, we need to understand this. I don't understand what you just said. They can give us answers, but they can't give
Well,
us
they
a
will give
budget.
you answers when you first ask you a series of questions.
Right, that's what I'm
That's
asking.
the first ones that you
Yeah.
asked for back in October. if you have
No,
questions.
we don't even have the budget then. How can we ask questions if we
Yeah,
haven't
there's
gotten
no
the
budget.
budget
We're
yet?
asking questions on the existing budgets and prior budgets, if anybody has any questions on those, not on the proposed new budget, because we won't know about that until early
Right,
November.
so
won't know
when
that.
do we get answers on the proposed budget? We get the budget on November 5th, correct?
Right?
This is the proposed budget.
Okay, so we get time to look at that budget and ask questions, like, I don't understand what item such and such is for. Can you explain that? And you're telling me they have no obligation to answer that?
No, they really don't.
I can't believe that. Then we have no reason to exist if we can't ask questions on the budget.
Well, that's why he wants to work with us. That's why the administration wants to work with us, and this is how what will work for them, is to do it this way, and to answer the questions with us, going through them one at a time, here, where we can ask follow-up or, get another series of answers. But that's how they want to do it. So it's really
Well,
a
it's
question.
our budget. Yeah, and you have said that many, many times, Annie, and you have protested when it was said that this is the superintendent's or the school board's budget. How many times have you said here, this is our budget? This is our obligation to make the budget. And if we can't ask any questions on what they're
No,
proposing.
it's not about questions, it's about answers.
So we can ask questions, but they don't give answers? What is the point of asking a question if they're not
Well, if
obligated
they're not
to
going to answer it, then you don't need to authorize funding. I mean, technically, it's in everyone's best interest to collaborate
Right.
and come to a consensus on what are the needs of the district. And are we
I'm
all,
not saying I'm going to be an adversary, but if I have a question about a line item, I don't understand it. For example, where is this money being spent? Why has this line item increased by 50%? I'm not obligated to an answer to that question? Then there's no reason for this committee to exist.
no,
There is.
there is, because we would eliminate that from the budget if we didn't get a satisfactory answer.
That doesn't sound like cooperation to me.
Well, it isn't. That wouldn't be. But that would be the reason to exist, is that we're the checks and balances for the school board and the administration on the thing. We're a check and balance, and we present a proposed budget for the public. The RSA says that we have the right to ask questions. It does not say that they have, let me see if I can find it in here.
Yes. Can you
It's a
please?
big, long one,
It is.
I've got to figure out which one it is.
bookmarked on my PC.
I know, I don't want
You
Yeah, I
have
was
it?
just trying to find.
No, I don't, I have it
Annie,
bookmarked on my PC.
actually, it sounds like this, is that we are allowed to submit questions, and these questions are to be answered either by the administration or the department head.
Is that the RSA?
It's essentially what they're trying to say, I think.
Who's they?
The RSA, the State Department of, RSA 32 is
full budget law.
it's a whole big, huge thing that's got an official budget, tell a governing body how to. They got all kinds of,
May I ask a point of clarification?
Yeah.
What are we trying to achieve here by determining whether they're obligated to give us answers or not? Does it impact what we're going to do with the schedule?
It does, in that it's on the schedule when they're giving us the answers. And Cheryl is asking that we get the answers sooner than when they meet with us, and they prefer to give them at that evening.
well, I think the whole reason they're trying to do that, instead of giving the answers out twice and tying everybody up, they're giving it out once to everybody.
Right.
And I think
And
that's.
knowing who they need to be here for support and that kind of thing, right? Yeah, Cheryl.
Well, this is my issue. That last time we got the presentation, we did not have anything before us. We did not have the presentation. We had to look at it on the screen. And then come up with questions. If we have that ahead
Wait a minute.
of
Whoa, whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
We came up with questions with the books in hand. We had more than what was on the screen.
Their answer,
The
their
reason-
presentation,
Oh,
where
okay.
they gave the answers,
That
we
night.
were not allowed to have a copy of the PowerPoint.
I
So,
can answer that question.
making notes, so I would like to have that PowerPoint, so when he's talking about something, I can make a note, because that just sparked a question in my head. So when we come back to answering questions, because he goes through the whole thing before he takes questions. So how can I remember all of my questions and to what part of the PowerPoint it was pertaining without having that in front of me to take notes?
On a piece of paper? I mean, I failed
What
to
is
see.
the issue with them giving us the PowerPoint the day before?
That
So we
is-
can have it in hand while it's being presented. We can even maybe have a day to go over it and formulate some questions. If they answer it during the presentation, cross it off.
Last year, when they were presenting the books, they did not have those ready until that night.
Well,
I
that
mean,
doesn't
they were
mean,
still working on it right up until the last minute. It's pretty hard to give you something if they don't have it ready for you.
well, can we ask? If they have it ready, may we have it?
We have asked, and the answer is no, that how Tom prefers to do it is the way that he does it. It's his recommendation, it's his presentation, he wants it done
Essentially, what you
a
can
way
say
that works
is,
for him.
it's his budget until he turns it over to us.
It's his recommendation.
His recommendation, don't
Correct.
even call it a budget.
I
because,
won't
yeah,
even call it that, but it's
But we'll
his
it's
paperwork.
not the you said we'll have the budget on November 5th. We'll have it. That's not what I'm asking for.
No, we'll have his recommendation on November 5th. Yeah.
Because it's not a budget until actually the school board presents it to you, and it's
Well,
here,
then it's a proposed budget, and then it's not really even a budget until it passes in
the
March.
voters.
So what exactly are we getting on November 5th?
We're getting his recommendation.
And so we're not getting the budget until when? When are we getting the actual
His
budget?
recommendation is a budget proposal. However, in the RSAs, it says that we make the budget proposal. So he gives us, he's gracious enough to work on and to do that work, as most administrators are.
When
but
do
it's
we
not
get
in
the
the RSA
budget
that
book,
they have
Annie?
to.
When
That
do we
night.
get the budget book?
That night.
On November 20th?
No, on November 5th.
Okay. So
Actually, it's
when he
November 6th at
answers,
the
when
joint
he
meeting.
answers
Yeah.
our questions, correct? So we've gotten the budget, we formulated our questions, we submit the questions, and then he's going to answer questions? Is he going to answer questions, or is he gonna say, I just decided I'm not going to answer the questions?
No,
This
he
is
will
what-
answer questions.
Okay,
What
so
he-
can we have that
That wins.
slideshow?
No,
No.
I can tell you that right now, because he will probably not have it ready until when he walks in.
Well, if he doesn't have it ready, I understand, but can we request to have it? And if it's ready he could just email it to us.
Well, I know
He could
for
put
a
it on the
fact that
drive.
Okay,
board-
let's not have this,
No,
kind of.
The
back and
board
forth.
has
Yeah.
already requested it, and he has said, I won't have it ready.
That's right.
This is the comment that he made. It will not be ready until, because they keep changing things. They keep finding new stuff. And
In response to our questions, they keep finding
no.
new stuff?
this is getting the board, getting the budget, his proposed budget presented in a way that you can understand it.
I'm not talking
Hang on,
about, we're
excuse
talking
me,
about
Cheryl.
two different things.
Cheryl.
We're talking about two different things.
Cheryl, could you, there's a hand up over here, please? Yes, Sandy.
Last year, he told us he would have it for us ready that night. It would not be ready before that. He said he was not going to give it to us in advance because in his experience, what happens is that you end up just looking at that and not listening to the presentation. So
That's
that's
correct.
the
Exactly what he
answer.
said.
He said that's how it's gonna be, and that's what he did.
Mhm.
And that is how he chooses to do it. So that's what we can, I presume, expect again this year, because what happens is you start looking through it, scrolling through on your computer, and you're not paying attention to what he's saying about what we're seeing. And he said, I will not give it to you in advance. So he didn't.
That's what he's told us to.
Okay, so the
The
question,
board.
just to answer your question, yes, it has been asked of him if we could have it earlier, and his answer is no. He is going to give it to us when he gives it to us. Yes, Cheryl?
Can we have it that night of the presentation?
He will give it to us when he decides he's going to. We can ask him if you
Didn't
can
he
have
give
it
it to us at the
before he presents. However,
Presentation.
you know, he has indicated that he doesn't want to do that he wants to distribute it after his presentation.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I find that very insulting, very insulting. We are adults, we are elected officials here. If he thinks we can't pay attention to what he's saying and he's going to treat us like children, I think that's very insulting. I would like to be able to have that presentation and refer to it. Sometimes we can't even read what's on there. It's not clear, or the printing is too small. I will promise him, I'll swear on the Bible, that I won't do whatever he's thinking I'm going to do and not pay attention to him. This is a $35 million budget. I'm going to pay attention
36.
to what he's,
Yeah.
okay, let's get nitpicky. It's a $36 million budget. I'm going to pay attention to what he's presenting. And if I need to look down on my paper to clarify something I can't see up there, I would like to be able to do that. And I think that's an adult thing to ask. And I don't understand why we can't have that presentation, the PowerPoint, the paper, while he's presenting, to help us be able to follow along, take notes, and then ask clarifying questions if we need to.
Okay.
Can-
Yes, Maura?
I feel like it's his presentation and he has the right to do his presentation, how he wants to do his presentation. As someone who's done presentations, I can understand why you wouldn't want people to look at your notes because they're going to infer what they want without your explanation. So it sounds like he's going out of his way to do this, that for us to go and make demands about how he should do it, it's his presentation.
Are there any other comments? Yes, Jim?
Yes, he specifically told me that he doesn't like to hand out presentations prior to him doing it because people go ahead and then start asking questions that are ahead of the game. And that is the main reason why he doesn't like to do that. So that's the comment that I heard directly from him. And is it legit? Yeah, it's perfectly, acceptable. But should we get a copy of it to walk out of there with that night?
We will.
We
will.
did get
We
it
will.
the next
We
day.
will.
Okay.
We will.
We'll get that after he does
After the
the
presentation.
slideshow?
Yes.
I find that unacceptable.
Well,
If he said last year too, I will not answer I will not answer questions that are not just clarifying questions. And so if someone did, he immediately stopped us and said, that's not a clarifying question, and he went on. Or if we interrupted him, then I can see why he would refuse to answer us if we interrupted something that he was saying. But to have the piece of paper in front of me, I just don't see what the issue is.
I think we've discussed that enough. It feels like, except for Cheryl, everybody seems okay with the superintendent doing
Yeah.
his presentation the way he's proposed.
Would it be nice? Yes, but it's not the way he's going to operate. So
Right.
it's his puppy. So let him do it.
Okay, so we're back to the budget calendar if we could, and we have two alternatives. One is to have our questions in on or before November 15th and get all the answers on November 27th. And the second one is to have them in on or before, well, basically a week further, on or before the 20th, and get answers on December 5th. So which one of those two will work for you? I know last year, Cheryl, you were away, so it was a little more difficult for you to go through the budget book in that first week, but he's willing to extend that by a couple of days.
Well, we only had 1 week.
Yes, we did.
That's not enough to go through a $36 million budget.
Okay?
that we've not ever seen before. Can you say those dates again?
Yeah, they're by Friday, November 15th, or by November 20th, Wednesday, November 20th, for the questions.
Submit the questions to you
Yes.
on the 15th?
Or the 20th.
And when would we get the answers if we submit them on the 15th?
We will get the answers
The
on the
21st.
27th. No, the 20th.
Your alternative
No,
one
we'll
says
get them on the
21st.
I'm sorry, we'll get them on the 20th.
Our meeting on the 21st.
I apologize. We'll get them on the 20th. If we have the date of submission by the 20th, we'll get them on December 5th, I believe it is.
Your alternative one says Friday, November 15th, 9 days later would be Thursday, November 21st is when we would get the answers, not the 20th. Not that it,
Okay, the
I'm
21st?
looking at,
Wednesday the 20th or Thursday the 21st.
Okay, so what is the feeling? What do you want?
Which one is it now?
We have two alternatives before us. One is by the 15th and one is by the 20th. So I'm just going to poll each person to see which one you want. Or we can just say how many want the 15th and how many want the 20th.
When do
the
we get the
advantage-
answers? I want to know when we get the answer. Is the answers coming two different times?
No, the answers are coming one time.
And that would be
The 20th
the
or the
20th.
21st, I guess that would be,
No,
because it would be a
actually-
joint meeting.
21st or December.
or
5th.
December 5th.
That's
Or
right.
December 5th,
So the answers are two different times.
right.
Alternative one gives us 9 days from the 15th to the 21st. That's only 6 days.
6 days.
And 5 days for them to come back with the answers. And the second one is on or before the 20th,
Wednesday
in which
the
case they
20th.
have 2 weeks because of Thanksgiving to come back with the answers. And it gives us less time for,
The next steps.
for going over them and deciding what we want to do about the budget.
So is the question kind of, do we want to have more time and them have less time, or we have less time and they have more time to answer?
Yep.
That's really what
Yep.
we're debating between here.
Yeah. So Mary, what's your feeling?
Personally, I work better under pressure. And I'd rather just get to it, so I would opt for the 15th and the
Okay.
21st.
Okay. Sandy, you are still a member. You
Yep.
won't be here to do this, but
Well,
what
based
what
on the
would you
last
say?
3 years, I would pick November 15th, so we have more time after.
Okay. Maura?
I'll pick so the 15th is an earlier date,
Right.
right? Yeah, the 15th.
Okay. Cheryl?
I'll pick the 20th.
Okay. Jim?
I'd like the 15th. That way we have more room at the end.
We can't ask any more questions, though, after we submit it.
If we can
15th?
ask questions, we just can, but
Not get the answer right away.
yeah, I mean, they'll be here at meetings. Matt will be here at our meetings and the superintendent will, but what he wants is he wants to be able to bring in any administrators or anyone that might be relevant to a particular question that's up there so that he can give us a thorough answer. So, he won't be kind of Johnny on the spot getting answers for us, but
So that would be at what meeting would the administrators come to?
It'd be the 5th.
the 21st with the second proposal. With the
That's the
one,
joint
the
meeting.
15th that we're talking about right now, it would be the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he gets we submit to you the 15th.
No, wait a minute. What your calendar is saying here is December 5th is a joint meeting. The
There are two-
administration gives the answers to the budget questions, and the school board will vote on a budget proposal.
Okay, yeah. And
But there's
that's,
nothing here about the 15th on any of these.
well, there are 3 different ones. There's the one that we did earlier
Yeah,
that we're amending in one of 2 ways. One way is to amend it for the 15th instead of the 13th, and that's a Friday, giving us a week and a half to come up with
Okay, I found it.
our answers. And they're going to put pressure on themselves to come up with the answers to us and present to us the following week. The second one is to wait till the following week, and then because of Thanksgiving in between, they will not give us our answers until the joint meeting on the 5th. So, it's that question. So is that clear, Jim? Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're good with the 15th?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
That's-
And Larry?
I'll take whatever you give me.
Okay.
I have to work with two boards, so I don't care,
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm also for the 15th, so.
That's fine.
Okay. So that's the one that I will do. I wanted us to do this so that the school board can then also adopt this budget calendar, and, then we'll be done. Is there anything else on the budget calendar that anybody has to bring up? Yes.
So I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right revision. Will you send out
I
the
will.
revision afterwards? Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yep.
And would you possibly delete the ones that are null and void at this
I
point,
will.
just to
I will,
At
yeah.
least.
We're not looking at the wrong
convoluted.
ones.
Yeah.
Alternative one,
So what I've got to
alternative
do,
one is the Friday the 15th
Right,
budget questions.
yes.
okay, the next
I don't know what
Wednesday,
document I'm
we're
in.
going to follow two Wednesdays, the 5th.
Scroll to the
We
top.
have the school
he
board
gets some-
meeting. We're going to present that to the school
What
board
is
at
the
that point.
interim?
No, you will have your normal school board meeting on the 4th, and we'll have a
Whatever.
budget committee meeting on the 5th.
Okay.
And the joint meeting would be on the 21st.
No, I'm talking about presenting the calendar to the school board.
Yes, the joint meeting would be on the 21st.
Yeah.
And we won't have another joint meeting unless it's needed on
Okay,
December
I
19th,
All right.
okay? I'll get it to you, Larry.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're done with that? Okay. Sandy is going to be resigning in July. Sandy?
Yep.
July what?
17th.
July 17th. So at that point, regretfully, we will miss you, but we wish you well in Myanmar, how do you pronounce it?
Myanmar.
Myanmar?
Yangon, Myanmar. International School of Myanmar.
And Mary and Maura and Cheryl will figure out what they're doing, how they're doing it, and everything else. We have
No, it
that
can't
one.
be Mary can't be on it.
No,
That's not true.
That was one opinion.
true.
That's not the way we operate.
That's how the school board did it, based on one opinion, but we've got precedent here.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So which RSA is that under?
That is,
It's actually, it is. It's under an RSA, but I don't know which one it is.
All right, can we get that put out there because this is all new to me and I can't accept it. That's not how we operate. It's kind of like a police officer going, yeah, I'm going to write you a ticket for 40 miles an hour over the speed limit because that's how I operate.
Okay.
But I was only doing 20. I'm saying 40, buddy. I want it to the letter. That's what I'd like to see.
Okay. Does anybody know what it is? Which one?
Yeah, I do. I'm looking it up right now. 671:33. Process for replacing budget committee members of a cooperative school district.
You're good.
Well, it's
What is it?
in the guidelines that we just went over.
Do we have
The readout?
I don't have the readout.
I'm pulling it up. Sorry, looking. Six 71:3, you said?
33.
33, okay. It's right after the tie vote. I'm not getting the RSA.
Vacancy among members of the Cooperative Area School Planning Committee shall be filled by the moderator for unexpired term. Cooperative School District remaining school board. The remaining budget committee members representing the same town or towns as the departed member shall fill the vacancy on the budget committee, provided that there are at least 2 such members. If there are less than 2 remaining members on the budget committee representing the same town or towns as the departed member, if the remaining members are unable by majority vote to agree upon an appointment, the selectmen of the town or towns shall fill the vacancy.
So, Jim, the argument becomes Mary as member at large, or any member at large, represents both towns. To take away her ability to represent Kingston and selecting a Kingston representative is disenfranchising her and making her just kind of an extra add-on. So that was one opinion that was given. It was how the school board acted, was just to have the 2 remaining representatives of the town select the new person.
Right.
However, how the budget committee has interpreted that and chosen to operate has been to have all 3, to have the member at large as well. If it were Mary, then all the members would do it because that would be representing both towns.
That
Okay,
also
so-
would work better for another reason too. If you have 2 members and you decide one goes one way and one goes the other
Oh, here
way,
it is.
you're stuck.
Well, then it's up to the select.
Well, then it would go
Yeah,
up to
but
the
if you have 3, then you
selectmen
can
or
keep it within your
the
own
town
group.
moderator, I think it was said.
Yeah,
Keep it within your own group. I like that idea better than the way we did it.
I do too. Wait a minute, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on,
Sorry,
Sandy.
go ahead, Sandy.
Yes, Sandy?
67133B4, in a cooperative school district, the remaining budget committee members representing the same town or towns shall fill a vacancy on the budget committee, provided there are at least 2 such members.
Right.
Yeah. So that's-
Okay, so Jim, you had something else you were saying?
Where does the district attorney fall on the decision that went on with the school board, and where does the district attorney sit with our decision
I
on
don't
to
think
keep
they
the
care.
3?
I
Is
don't
that,
think they care.
okay,
Because I know we went to him and he says, as long as you've got 2 people from the same town.
okay.
That was the
And
answer
we
got.
never brought ours to the attorney. We just interpreted it and we
And that was
just,
the way he put
Okay,
it.
hang on, Cheryl has her hand up, yes.
So what is the procedure that we're going to go by? It doesn't specify here. Are we going to
Town
be
and
putting
towns.
an ad in the newspaper?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's how it
what will
works.
the time frame be? Is that
there's
just
specific
Maura and
requirements, right?
Mary and
I'm
I?
sorry?
So there are specific requirements, I think, that you need to comply with posting in 2 public places within so many
You
days of
have
the.
you have to go through the same thing as if you were having a regular meeting. One, you have to sit there and post it. You have to advertise for candidates. You have to interview all your candidates. Hopefully you.
And
you know,
those are public.
And they're all public interviews.
Yep.
Well, in the past, the SAU has done the postings
Yeah, the SAU should do it.
so that we are in
You know where
compliance.
Gives those details, Larry?
No, I don't. We were just
Not
told
in
this is what to
this-
follow. This is what, I think we got it from the New Hampshire School Board Association.
What I'd suggest is that you folks, you 3, get together, decide when you want to hold your interviews, and tell the SAU office when you want to hold your interviews, and they will go back from that date to when the postings have to be done so that the candidates come forward. We already have one who's expressed an interest. I think everybody got that, and there may be others, there may not, who knows? But then you'll get to do the interview and bring them in. So you 3 decide. It's up to you to decide what your date is that you want to do your interviews. Yeah, Cheryl.
When does that person need to be seated by?
Well, I think it'd be great to have them seated by mid-September at the latest.
So there's no guideline
No.
for
No, there
when
no.
that
No,
has to be done?
no. But, I mean, it seems to me that, what's the first day of school?
August 26th,
Yeah.
26?
something like that.
Yeah.
So first,
The last
So if
the
you-
last week in August.
Yeah, so if you put your ad in the last week in August and you do your interviews on September, on or before September 15th, and then you have the person seated by September 15th, that gives them a week or so to kind of come up with any questions that they might have as a part of our questions, and I will certainly be happy to cut them a little bit of slack to, if they need a little more time to go over and kind of get up to speed. But I would assume that the knowledge is out there now, and people who are candidates will be looking at some of this information that we already have. So,
The interviews are going to be in public?
Oh, yes.
They are,
Oh, yeah.
they have to be.
yep.
Last time, nobody came, but
Yeah, but we had all kinds of people here when we did our interviews. There was.
When was the
more than what
last,
we had
when
for
was
the
the
board.
last time?
you
board.
and I and Charlton. Who left?
Amy.
Amy Faria?
Right.
Faria left.
I didn't realize that was.
Do we
in
need a
public.
motion to accept?
We do, and that's
resignation?
what I wanted to get to too,
Okay.
is
Sorry, we jumped ahead on that one.
yeah. So Mary, you're
I
making a motion?
regrettably make a motion to accept Sandy Osterloh's resignation effective July 17th.
Second.
Thank you.
Don't want to see you go.
Any discussion? Yes.
I'd like to say, Sandy, I really value your level head and your logic and your keen eye and your ability to see through opaque situations where people can get lost in the muck. And we will truly miss that. And I wish you very well in your endeavors. And the International School of Miramar, very lucky to get you and Doug.
Thanks.
I second that wholeheartedly. We're going to miss you. Miss you.
Moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Under protest.
Yes.
Unanimous? Are you abstaining from accepting your resignation? Okay. Okay. Is there any public comment? Tammy? No, I'm good. Okay. Is there any committee comment?
Just to clarify that we all did get the same email from the same person that was sent in from Miss Vanessa Matias,
Yes.
Yep, we all got it.
expressing the interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we do need to advertise it. We need to post it in 2 public places. We need to set up interview schedule times, all
Sure.
that.
And
Yep. Yeah,
advertise
I was just making sure,
We received that before we got the
triple
resignation letter.
checking, I've been to meetings before and people are like, no, I haven't got the email. I'm like, you replied to it. How did you not know about it, So, just
All right, good.
thorough.
Yes.
So Cheryl, Mary and I, are we allowed to email each other to set up this time? Is that
Yes.
allowed via
Yes, you
email?
are.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's how the 3 of us need to get together to set up that time, if that's kosher? Okay.
Good question.
Kind of afraid to email.
Just don't get into a big reply all stream kind of thing too much. But,
Now, you can set all that stuff up.
any decision that you make in your meeting, just be sure and announce it publicly so that it's out there so that nobody ever comes back after you. about it.
Well, how does that work? Do we interview the person and the people they leave, and then we would sit and discuss it together? Is that what would
Yes.
happen when we would
In
do that
public.
afterwards? So,
In public.
Public.
In
oh, we have that
public.
discussion in public.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Larry, you had something?
Yes, just to clarify your mind a little bit. You could sit there and send emails back and forth as you're setting up dates. But if you cannot make a decision and say yes or no to that decision, if it gets down to that point, then you have violated the law. That's the easy way to look at it.
We can make a decision on a date, though.
Yeah.
You can make a
Yeah,
decision
okay.
when you're in a
Okay.
public meeting.
That would
Okay.
be good.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
have to have a public meeting to decide when you're going to have a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Indeed, when would you have it?
Okay.
good luck, guys.
Okay.
Been there, done that.
Is there anything further? There being no further business, our next scheduled meeting day is for the Budget Committee on Thursday, October 10th at 7 PM. And this meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
I like that.
Would you like a motion to adjourn?
Would you like a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. We're adjourned.